What's up, everyone? Ray Lopez here after, what, a 3-week hiatus? I don't think I made a single video this month. Really apologize, you guys. Had some drama, had to move, so now I've moved. I'm back down from living out in the middle of nowhere in the desert to now back in the San Fernando Valley, my hometown in Los Angeles. Had some cool things happen recently before I go into what we're doing here. Just started working at a vape shop down here in Burbank, California called Vape Madness. Pretty cool shop. Check them out. It's vapemadness.com. And on top of that, I've piled up a whole bunch of juice and a whole bunch of devices. I also just got signed up with UD Technologies to start doing all of their new unreleased products. So I haven't left you guys. I didn't forget about you guys. I've been dying. I've been wanting to make videos. I just needed to get settled. I'm settled. I'm back. I'm going to do a build tutorial. This build tutorial is on the Helios, which I still need to review. Sorry, guys. I am backed up right now. But I'll give you guys a quick look at this real quick, and we'll go ahead and build it. It's basically a quad vertical. Cool thing about it, though, is the way that it's wicked, it kind of resembles the ohm symbol. It's basically quad coil, 24 gauge, and I put them at about a 45-degree angle and solid wick. So when you're dripping down, it works flawlessly. This thing fires like crazy. It's also very, very low. I believe this is at a 0.14. So if you guys are going to make this build at this low with this wire gauge, make sure you're using the proper batteries. Make sure you're using 30 amp batteries. Sony VTC 4, 5s, the EFES 35s, you got the LG 35s. There's tons of batteries out there for you guys to use. Make sure you practice good battery safety before you attempt this build. All right, guys, let me show you how this thing works real quick. Lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of vapor. It was a pretty killer build. I've been enjoying it for probably the last couple days now, and figured why not go ahead and do a build tutorial. So let's get right into it. We'll go into build mode, and I'll show you how to build this. I don't know what do you want to call it, the ohm build. All right, works for me. Okay, so here we are, up close mode. You guys have been here before, or maybe you haven't. Maybe this is the first time you've watched one of my build tutorials. So anyways, I'm going to be using the Helios as my RDA for this build. You can use pretty much any other 3-post or anything like that. I just prefer on the Helios, and I'll have a review on this as well as the Helios clone from Segreen that I received from thebrokesmoker.com. But hey, this is not about the Helios, so let's get this going. All right, so we got our 24 gauge Canthal. Let's go ahead and pull off a healthy helping of some 24. It's probably, oh man, I gotta be careful with this 24. I've had this thing come off on me so many times. Finally, like, drilled a bunch of holes in here just to hold everything in place. All right, so let's go ahead and pull off some 24 here. Let's see. Really don't need that much. I probably use about 4 to 5 inches per coil, just to make it easier. You know, it's always nice to have more than you need when you are building. So basically, we're just going to be building some macro coils. Well, kind of macro. Macro, like that's one of them right there, you could see. And this was on that old build that I vaped before we came into this. Let's see, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so 5 wrap on my trusty Allen wrench. You know, these things really come in handy when you're making builds. I've been loving on just one of these cheap little Allen wrench kits you can pick up Home Depot or anything like that probably Harbor Freight, something like that, right? So the one I like to use for this, and pretty much most of the builds I've been doing, is a 3/32 Allen wrench. Get these extra pieces out of the way. All right, so it's your basic coil wrap, just like any other coil. There's nothing special about this. So let's do 5 wraps. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Is that 5? That is 4. One thing I like to do that I've been accustomed to now is always that first wrap, if you could see, is always a little funky. So I always back that one off. I don't like that one. Never liked that one. And just kind of get rid of that little crimp. Pull everything nice and snug. Okay, so there we go. We got our first coil. Now I'm going to repeat this process with the other 3, and we will get to inserting them. So quick edit. Okay, so here we are. We got all of our coils ready to go here. Made all 4, and they're all going to look a little funky right now in the beginning. We're going to tighten all these up as we go along. As you can see, like, you know, pretty loosely spaced. Get these out of the way. One thing that's cool with the Helios is you do have the 4 post holes. So one thing I like to do with this build is, you know, sometimes with the Helios, you normally want to go center post, so you'd go in to the furthest one from your negative. This one, no. We go perfectly into our post holes. All right. So there's 1. And important when you're doing this build, you want your top leg, the one that's on top, to go into your center. Seems to work fairly well with this style of build, since we will be angling these. So this is very similar to a regular quad coil, except how we tweak them once they are all installed. So we're going to do it rough right now and get these all thrown in there. So I'm going to edit here, come back and show you how to get all these situated. Okay, so here we are. Look at that. Look at that cluster of madness right there. So this is how we get this all fixed. So kind of loosely place where you want your coils to be. And I like them a little bit away from the deck on this, or from the post, sorry. Also the deck, you don't want them touching the deck. Even them out as much as possible. You can tweak them a little bit once they're done. Okay, so now we have them all where we want them. Let's go ahead and tighten down our posts. Not too tight, since we might need to adjust them a little bit. But basically what I'm doing right now is just getting it so I can cut off all of these excess wires so we have some room to play with here. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and cut off all these, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I cut off all the leads and I loosened up the screws a little bit. This is where we perfect it. So go ahead and insert the coils on both sides, and you want to even it out. And I didn't loosen the screws completely, just enough so I can manipulate a little bit, because you want these to be even. So do the same thing on this side now. This part's fairly important. You sort of want your coils to all be perfect. Even better if you have 2 of the exact same size Allen wrenches, which I do not have, but I think we're good there. So I'm going to go ahead and tighten these all down. Okay, so now they're all tightened down. Everything has been manipulated to work properly. So now we got our basic quad coil design. Okay, let's go ahead and test this real quick and see what we got. I'm at a 0.12. Remember, like I said, this is a very, very, very low resistance build. Make sure you use the right batteries. All right, enough of that. Now what we do is we take these and angle them at a 45-degree angle. You can see here, I just take my Allen wrench and manipulate the coil till I get it to where I want it. And do that for all of them. So it's almost like a vertical, almost like a horizontal, halfway in between them both. And you got to be sure when you're doing this that you're not going to mess up your wire. You don't want it to overlap on you, like that one tried to kink up on me here. And of course, any little issues can be worked out later when we're dry firing it, because that's when we will perfect this build. And that one's going to need lots of perfection. Okay, so let me just double check here. Let's see, I can do it on camera. That looks good. That looks alright. You can see that one is a little screwy right there, but we'll fix that. So I'm going to go ahead and throw this on my mod, and we will adjust it. Okay, so here's where the magic happens. Start firing it. Okay, you can see some of these are firing a little funkier than others, but we kind of pulse it, and squeeze it. Get all the springiness out of these things. Man, is this a hot build. Very, very hot build. Same thing. See if I can get this at a better angle so you guys can see what I'm doing here. Through and squeeze. Squeeze and hold until it cools off, and then let go off. There we go. So you do this all the way around until everything looks nice. See? That looks pretty good now, right? Of course it does. So that's how you perfect this. I'm going to go ahead and do the other side off camera, and then I'll come back and we'll wick this. Okay, now we're back. Now you can see here, we have the two on this side, perfectly angled, all squished together nice and tight. Same on this side. Now the wicking method that I'm going to show you guys is something that I saw recently. I believe this was Deduped X had pointed this one out, and I noticed it from him, but I guess it's being called, I hope I don't butcher this, but I think the Iteo wicking method. Iteo wicking method uses cotton, as always, like I do in all of my builds. But what you do with this, and we cut a pretty decent sized piece here. Now what I'm going to do is work with a thick, solid, twisted wick. I know, Ray, no, you're not supposed to do thick wicks. Don't work. Yeah. I know. I've heard this a million times, and I used to tell people this all the time myself. But I did start using this recently, and I have to say, I am a fan. So I'm going to go ahead and use some of this Demented Liquids Like a Sir, because why not? I think this might be a little too thick. Nah, this will work. Okay, so basically what we're going to do here is pre-moisten your wick, and we twist it and get it all nice and juicy. Now the reason why this works compared to throwing in like a thick piece of dry wick, since we're pre-saturating this, and mind you, you're going to get juice all over your fingers, so get ready for that. But what I think's happening here is, since it's pre-moistened, you're not worried about juice wicking to where your coil is. If you put in too tight on a dry piece of cotton, it doesn't wick. just sort of, it's not saturated. So when it tries to get into that tight area where the coil is, it doesn't want to work. Okay, so what I do here is going to show you on this side. Insert this piece. Insert this piece. If it wasn't being stubborn, this is really hard to do on camera, you guys. All right, so we insert those. Dry off my hands. And then we just go ahead and pull these through. Pull through. And it's going to be a little stubborn at first. Let's see if I can do it this way so it works for me and for you. So just keep pulling, 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 pulling. Okay, until it comes up pretty nice and tight. Just like so. See that? And cut it a little bit past the deck wall. Then, where is my trusty paper clip? Whatever. I'll just use some of this failed dual helix wire I'm trying to work on. And like an ohm symbol, take your legs, push them off to the side. Look at that. Kind of resembles an ohm symbol. I don't know. I thought that was cool. Doesn't really mean much, but this wick, being as thick as it is, holds a lot of juice. So I'm going to go ahead and do that on the other side off camera, and we'll come up and I'll show you how it vapes. Okay, welcome back to regular video mode. Dum-da-dum-dum-dum. Alright, so here it is. Let me zoom in here. Alright, so there it is. It's one side. There's the other side. Nice quad coil. I don't know. It's called a dual ohm. Quad ohm coil. Quad ohm coil. Sure. Why not? Names don't really matter. Basically, this is just a sweet little quad coil. A very beastly little quad coil at 0.12. And it's all nice and saturated with the ITO wicking system. And look at that thing fire. Can you hear that? Look at that. Oh, it's a monster. It's a monster. Okay. Let's go ahead and throw the cap on here. Give it a quick vape. Lots and lots and lots of vapor. Really impressive. I'm very happy with it. I'm not necessarily a huge fan of quad coil builds. They never really seem to work properly for me. I mean, they would work, but not able to get the proper airflow. It seems like, I don't know, maybe the way that they're angled, that they come a little bit closer in to where the airflow is, and it just cranks out vapor. Even at these super sub-ohm levels, I still get plenty of flavor, which is surprising because I was always of the mind the lower you go, you know, there's a certain level where you go past it and you're just going to lose out on flavor. I still get plenty of flavor. Take quick hits if it wasn't locked, like an idiot. So yeah, that's the build. I'm officially back. Again, so sorry, you guys. I do apologize. I haven't been able to make videos, but you can guarantee there's going to be a ton of videos coming out in the very near future. I'm going to try and bust out as many as I can. I got a ton of juice reviews. Going to try and get some more of these build tutorials, the build a week thing, which kind of got stunted. And I am trying to work on Kent Hill, the person that came up with the the wickless coil, which of course has been pretty popular on my channel. He has a dual helix coil or wire that he made that is apparently wickless as well. I'm trying to get the build done. I tried it on camera about 5 or 6 times earlier today and just was failing miserably at it. It is a pretty tricky coil wire to make. I will make it, and I will make it on camera, and I will show you guys, so that way you guys can use it as well. So there you go. Thanks again for watching, you guys. I really do appreciate you guys hanging out, sticking with me, not, you know, just saying F this guy and leaving my channel and staying subscribed. If this is your first time watching me, please subscribe to my channel. This little hiatus I took does not happen very often, if ever. So I'll be giving you guys plenty more to be watching. And also, if you guys are in the SoCal area, Los Angeles area, go ahead and come check me out at Vape Madness in Burbank. Come by, build you a coil. Or if you have any questions and you want to talk to me in person, great place to go. I'm there most of the days. Or you can always just ask me and I'll let you know. All right, guys. So thank you for watching. And as always, vape on.